This is Throwin Down with Jess and Lily.
That makes no sense.
You can be funny and not be offensive.
The same way this is your workspace, this is my workspace too.
It's never just sports.
It's never just sports.
It's never just sports.
You'll be a little smarter and we'll be a little smarter and it'll be great. I was close to being right. You know what's interesting?
If you don't agree with this, then just turn us off.
Ooh, all right. On that note,
We're throwing down.
welcome back to Throwin Down with Jess and Lily. I'm Lily Caffrey-Levine.
I'm Jess King.
And welcome to special week 1 NFL everything episode of Throwin Down. We're going to be breaking down all of week 1 in the NFL, games, moments, drama, etc. First, we're going to hit you with some playoff updates. Toss it over to Jess.
Guys, there's a lot going on. If you don't have your TV on watching sports, I do not know how to help you. It is Tuesday, September 15th, as we record this. The Nuggets are going up against the Clippers in Game 7 tonight for the Western Conference semifinals. The Heat and the Celtics kick off Game 1 for the Eastern Conference finals. And then switching over to hockey, we have, yes, Eep. We'll talk about that afterwards. And switching over to hockey, we have the Islanders and Lightning for Game 5 tonight. Tampa Bay leads 3-1. I just need the Islanders to catch this dub so I can be a happy woman tonight. And in the most important news, WNBA playoffs start tonight. The Suns versus the Sky at 7 p.m. and the Mystics versus the Mercury at 9 p.m. You can catch that on ESPN2. Keep watching it. Watch it. Do it. Be a part of the movement.
This is the most, I read somewhere, this is the most nationally televised NBA playoffs in the 24-year history, which is 24 years is way too long to not have had this much access to it, but I'm glad we're here nonetheless. First and second round and semifinals, I believe, begin on the 27th. So lots of exciting things happening.
Sports!
Yes, sports. All the sports are happening. Jess, who you have in the game tonight?
I think the Nuggets are going to
do it?
I don't want to say kill. That's a lie. I think it's going to be a really good game, and I'm going to switch it on right after I watch the Islanders either break my heart or make me happy. I love the underdog, so how could I not? And I mean,
this has been an insane playoff run.
So here's the thing. The Nuggets have gone to a Game 7 in all of their playoff runs in, the last 2 years.
That makes me tired.
And it's I read that and I was like, that's
tired.
Exhausting. So it's either tonight they man up and decide to full send go for it and stop kicking themselves in the butts after they get knocked out of the season, or they win, or they can win. They should. I think that they can do it. I think that if the Clippers were as badass and as deserving
as dominant as they've been played out to be.
Exactly. They should have already kicked this away. I mean, the Eastern Conference finals are starting. I mean, we're only one game behind them, but they should have probably had this in the bag by now, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's I've talked to a few people about this, but it's anytime anybody is talking about NBA playoffs, I'm just I don't know what gives anybody the authority to think that they know what's going to happen, because we have just been proven time after time in this playoff run that it's so, I feel and who am I to say? I feel going into these playoffs, it was truly anybody's championship to win.
Yeah, because everyone, all of the
maybe except the Nets. Maybe except the Nets. Maybe.
Definitely not the Knicks.
Anyways, they weren't even there. But it is fall. It is hoodie weather, and I am team never letting go of summer until true end of summer, which is actually September 21st, even though everyone's already moved on. But I woke up today, it was 55 degrees, and I was freezing cold. I have been freezing cold all day, which does not happen to me. I don't think I really wear jackets. I wear a jacket for 3 days in January.
In Poughkeepsie, New York, it's cold up there, and
there's 3 days from
with a t-shirt on.
January 22nd to January 25th, I wear a jacket. But no, I was cold today. So, which means it's hoodie weather. It's hoodie weather. It's fall. It's NFL season. And that is part. So
and pumpkin spice latte season.
I don't like pumpkin spice lattes.
You're crazy.
I will say, I got a what was it? It was a pumpkin cold brew, a pumpkin something cold brew. I actually really liked that. That was good.
And do you drink pumpkin beer?
I do like pumpkin beer.
So
more
it's not
than
just
I like pumpkin coffee. It's no. So here's the thing, and this is taking way too long to get into this, but I actually got. I think that because I order on like the little app Majig, and it tells you all the ingredients, and I got it. It comes with like a bunch of pumps of like vanilla sweetener, and I got it without the sweetener, and then I really liked it. And so I think my issue with the pumpkin before was the sweetener and not the pumpkin. My apologies to pumpkin. It was the sugar. So when I took that of it, I was like, this is really good. But okay, let's just get into some overall thoughts. I know. Let's get into the overall thoughts about week 1 of the NFL. And I'm just going to start with this overall thought in that it felt, I will not say perfect because far from that. It felt like it was actually football season, and I will partially credit that to the weather. I think if it was 85 degrees outside on Sunday, I would not have felt the same way, but it was a little chilly. It wasn't cold, but it was like nice. It was totally like fall weather. It was chilly. It was nice. And so I was like, oh, it like smells different outside. Like it smells like leaves. So I was like, oh, it's football season. So assist from Mother Nature to the NFL for making it feel like football season. But Jess, overall thoughts, week 1.
It was surreal. Like, I couldn't believe that we had gotten here and we're actually watching football. I mean, so I worked all day, so I wasn't able to sit down and really take in the games that I would have liked to. I mean, Thursday and Monday were completely different stories. But on Sunday, I was like running around and working. I work in a restaurant, and I was like, damn, like we're watching football. Like people are wearing jerseys. Everyone's screaming. Like I'm wearing a mask. What's going on right now? Like I had to it was crazy. I mean, seriously, I can't believe we got here. I'm impressed with all of us for getting here, and I'm glad that football's on. It makes things kind of feel normal, but it also makes me a little nervous. So
yeah,
LA actually has a lot of players with coronavirus.
So that was one of my bigger thoughts watching it. Like I was obviously having a really nice time. It felt good to sleep in and then wake up in the game.
I'm in danger.
But I pointed it out. I was like, this, and for many reasons, I was like, this is the weirdest viewing experience of football I have ever had in my 22 years on this planet. It was just very, and I will give it to credit to obviously coronavirus, no fans in the stands, et cetera, and everyone was talking about Brady not being with the Patriots. And biggest probably headline, it's Brady's first game not as a Patriot. And so everything just felt like very alternate universe, like alternate timeline version of things.
Seeing him in that uniform was crazy.
Yeah. So that was obviously one of my biggest kind of thoughts about the whole thing, is that it was obviously just very different, because the biggest headline of the week is kind of that Brady lost and Belichick and Cam won.
So with that, Lily,
yeah,
I gotta ask.
Just ask.
Who are your biggest losers of the week?
Oh, winners and losers. Let's do it. Okay.
Let's do it.
So we are going to be doing winners and losers for week 1 of the NFL, but everyone does winners and losers. So we're going to do something a little different because it's never just sports here on Throwin Down. We are doing third-party winners or losers, which means that none of these winners or losers of week 1 are teams, players, or basically main characters. They are third parties that were affected by things that happened in week 1. So are we starting with losers?
Loser. I'm going to start out with me. I got to pick up the stats real quick for you guys. But I am a loser in fantasy football.
Oh,
Week
same.
1. in both leagues. Let me hit you with something. Look, this wasn't shocking to me in my Yahoo league. I'm playing with a bunch of men, and I'm the only girl in it, and I really wanted to do super good and be like, yeah, women, we're so awesome. But I lost 92.88 to 129.14 in that for week 1. And then I thought, you know what? I was doing real good in my ESPN league. I'm pretty sure I won that, and I didn't check after last night because I had some skin in the game for that one. Checked that one out. Thought I was really going to beat my dear friend Mary Kate Greeley, who, shout out to her, she's listening to this podcast, graduated Mara Sportscom class of 2020. Hear this bullshit. I get 123.32. I take the L to Mary Kate because she had 123.38.
I would be pissed.
06.
Can I one-up you in being a loser this week? Because I also lost both my leagues. I lost, and this is Lily. I'm trying hard in fantasy this year. Caffrey Levine. I lost in both my leagues. In my family league, to my father, I lost, and in our ESPN league, I lost to our dear Amelia, which is. Now, some of you might think, why does that matter? Why does it matter to lose to Amelia? Because I drafted her team and then I lost to her. And she texted me, and Amelia is like the sweetest, nicest person on the face of the planet. She texted me, thanks so much for drafting my team. I have really good players. Like, this is so fun. And I was like, I know you do. So
you are welcome. Dinner was awkward tonight. I'm going to sit in my room in the dark.
So... loser number 1 for both Jess and I is us. My loser number 2 of the week is the NFL, because the NFL has been trying to do a lot of different initiatives to bring awareness to social justice issues, things like that. People have said that some of them feel very performative. And this is the specific instance that I'm calling a loser for the week, was painting the phrase "end racism" right above the word Chiefs on the field. And there was a part of me, and someone else pointed it out. They're like, really? We're going to write "end racism" over Chiefs. And it just felt very interesting to me that it didn't feel like, if we're making these efforts to be better, that felt like a really big oversight. Also, is painting "end racism" on the field ending racism when you had people in your stadium not wearing masks and quite literally booing equality? Which I'm just gonna cut to my third losers of the week as a segue. People that boo a moment of equality. Like, what the fuck are we doing? You're going to have people in your stadium during a pandemic, and when all the players stand locked arm in arm for a moment of silence for equality, and people are booing? Like, what is this? What are we doing here? What do people think we're accomplishing? And it just feels, I'm not saying that the NFL is responsible for their fans, but it just feels like if we're trying to move in a direction of change, calling out behavior like that, condemning it, saying it's wrong, saying we will not stand for it, is a way to put your money where your mouth is and put your actions where your mouth is, instead of just putting "and racism, Chiefs," and then, okay, but now everyone in the stadium's going to boo equality. And so I just feel like if you're going to back up the players like you say you are, come out and say something about that, because I don't think that it's been addressed. So those were my losers of the week.
Well, then my last two losers, aside from myself as usual, kind of go hand in hand with this. My second loser is everyone that's boycotting the NFL. And to be real with you, that's actually a thing that people are doing that I did not think people were actually going to do. And let me just say this. Personally, I want to watch sports, right? I get it. And some people view sports as an escapism for them. And this is not the podcast for those type of people, because they want to just view athletes as people that go out, do their job, shut up, go home, and don't do anything else. And
then
that's
boo them when they stand for equality.
If you want to live your life like that, that's fine. I don't do that. I personally think it's freaking dope that people who have a voice, use a voice, have a platform, use their platform. That's what we're doing here. And if you guys don't get this by now, again, I don't know how to help you. So people are actually doing this, and it's crazy because we've gone so long without having any sports. Football's back. It's the same people that have been chirping all pandemic that they want sports back. And here we are doing it. We have them. And you're boycotting it. And that's fine. You're just taking away a beautiful aspect of sports from yourself. Football, American football, the fucking NFL. Like, I love the competition. It's so good watching people get bodied and pushed around and like, I just think, I thought it was ridiculous. Like, people were actually going to boycott the NFL, and they're actually doing it.
I have a question. So that was my question. Is that, do you think people that say they're never watching football again,
they are never watching football?
Well, but when they've done this with the NBA, there's like people bring up the receipts of people tweeting, I'm never watching the NBA again, and then they're tweeting about games 2 years later.
So I'll tell you this. When I bartend out on Long Island, and there's a lot of people who, when I bartended yesterday day, so that was Monday day, I was saying I cannot wait till something is able to be put on TV, like Monday Night Football, because I was just watching
The View,
like soap operas on TV all day. And people were like, well, we don't want to watch football. Like, I overheard 2 people saying that they are not watching football this year because they are offended by what's going on.
The NFL wants to end racism.
My response to that was, wait, that's super interesting. You're really not watching football over that? And they were like, nope. And I was like, really? Like, you're not even just going to skip the pregame and, like, maybe put it on, like, a minute into the game and just watch the game? Because even if you view sports as an escapism, that's fine. Don't listen to the talk shows. Don't listen to the reporters. Don't listen to the post-game or pregame interviews. You really aren't just going to watch the sport that you love. Like, I mean, maybe
But I think that's how telling it is. Like, that's how much they want it, that they're willing to give it all up. It's just...
we could beat this dead horse all day, really.
Because I actually have one more loser.
Me too, but go first.
And it is anybody that is still in the year of our Lord 2020 criticizing what women wear on TV. Because Dan McNeil, who had some choice words about Maria Taylor's jacket, which Maria Taylor, if you're listening, please drop the link because I love that jacket. He has since his comments been fired by the Score. So
I didn't know that.
Yep, it
It
was like a few hours ago. Like, I can't
Crazy.
believe we're here and
Good.
you're still gonna make derogatory comments
that
about what
unverified white old man has the right to talk about my girl Maria Taylor like that. I don't know her personally at all. I just think in my head we would get along really well. She came on our Zoom call once. But seriously, like, she's verified on Twitter. She works for ESPN. Like, sit down, kid. Like, I know
jacket.
you would kill to be reporting that game live right now, and she is. So the only thing you have to say back is that she shouldn't be wearing what she's wearing. Cry me a goddamn river.
So that was my last loser of the week. On a more positive note, winners.
Wait, let me get my last loser.
Oh, you have another loser. Okay, yes,
Yeah,
you go.
It's really
Lots
funny.
of losers.
So many. So Cam Newton got into a little scuffle with Miami Dolphins defenders after they won. And
I love the word scuffle.
He thought that they were coming to get his, as they call it, quote, a fake ass chain, the Miami Dolphins defenders. So my loser of the week is Cam Newton's alleged fake ass chain, but also the Miami Dolphins, because I don't think Cam Newton owns anything that's fake.
That's what I'm saying.
Which segues perfectly into the winners, because my first winner is Cam Newton's yellow suit, which was phenomenal. This is the type of stuff that I've missed about watching sports. I know in the NBA they've made, in the bubble, they laxed their dress code a bit, so no one had to really show up as stylish as they
I did love the LeBron shorts pantsuit. Loved
yes.
it. Amazing.
So
but
the outfits are incredible. I love seeing the way that athletes' personalities come out before the game and the way that they hype themselves up. He's donning an all yellow suit, a big ass jug of water.
It was so good.
His headphones, like he looked badass. So
yeah, that's a good one. My first winner of the week is the region of New England. Honey, New England, sweetie, you are doing amazing. New England said, I heard you're doing you, and you heard I'm doing better. New England got dumped and glowed the fuck up after that breakup. No, seriously, there were a lot of questions going into how New England was going to do, and I've talked about this with, like, friends from Boston, how it was, like, the most Boston. The most just like unsure we were about how the season would go. Like it really could go any way. It was very like blank slate. Obviously Brady left, Gronk re-signed with or Gronk came out of retirement, signed with Tampa Bay. They had Leonard Fournette, so like Tampa Bay was just locked and loaded, ready to go. Cam Newton was like pre-injury Cam, comes out of there 78.9 completion percentage, 155 yards, 100.7% rating. Like really like great win. I'm not going to overreact about it because it was a win over the Dolphins, and I don't think that
I'm glad you've noticed that because I was gonna say
yeah, no, and that's the thing is that it was like I think, and that's a big thing I think for people is everyone's like, yeah, it is the Dolphins, which I'm totally yes, but I think they also could have come out like, I mean, the Patriots in the Brady era lost to the Dolphins a lot. So it could have been a fucking disaster, and it wasn't. And then also Brady lost. So New England's winning the breakup. Good for her. She is a comeback queen. Jess, before I say anything else dumb.
My winner, my other winner is Saquon Barkley's freaking thighs. Are you kidding me? Those things are the size of my fucking head. I mean, that guy's little spin lunge over the defender on the Steelers. Like, Steelers are my defense, and I kind of wanted nothing more than to watch him get taken down. But that was so badass. And the pictures that came out afterwards, he looked like a goddamn superhero. He was like,
fun fact for week one of the NFL, he had fewer rushing yards than Brady.
Yeah, also true.
Tom Brady, not a rushing quarterback.
Tom Brady, the opposite of that.
My second winner is everyone watching the Cleveland game who is not from Cleveland, because for 3.5 hours, the Browns restored a sense of normalcy in all of us. And it was wonderful. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry to Browns fans, but it was just so like death, taxes, Browns scoring 6 points in an entire game.
Well, Baker Mayfield was happy because at least he threw a touchdown pass, right? He went home and slept fine that night.
Baker Mayfield's fine.
On the same conversation of fashion, I have to give my last winning slot to Derrick Henry's suit in remembrance of all of the people who lost their lives to racial injustices and police brutality. It was crazy that he could fill up a suit with names like that without repeating a single one. And it was having a visual like that was moving. It was really moving. I hope it made the same impact on a lot of people across the nation as it had on me. It was like,
yeah.
It was moving, but it was disappointing.
To like, yeah, kind of reckon. To
yeah.
see, like, I mean, I guess it's just a different visual of like, oh, you filled an entire suit. And I think for people
of a large man.
Yeah, I think for a lot of, I see what you're saying, really. I think for a lot of people, like, sometimes you don't see the broad scope of how things like this happen all the time. And I think something like that makes people realize a little bit more how much of an issue it is.
Haven't blown up, like, and reached as many people as others have. Not like it's a competition at all or anything. It's just, it was
It was powerful. It was powerful.
It was powerful. That's a really good word.
And like
that's
heartbreaking.
Exactly what it was. Yeah. And I'm glad that he did that. On a lighter note, though.
Well, mine's not. It's not dark, but it's not light. I don't know. My third winner of the week was All of Us after the. I don't know how I'm supposed to say this, but after the Chloe by Halle, is that how the band? It's Chloe X Halle.
Okay. I don't know where you're going with this.
The sister duo that performed the national anthem on Thursday.
Right.
That was hands down the most beautiful rendition of the national anthem I have ever heard. They also, one of them wore a Justice for Breonna Taylor shirt. Another one wore a Rest in Power George Floyd shirt. So, and they're two Chloe by Halle. So it's Chloe X Halle. I don't know if it's Chloe by Halle or Chloe and Halle or Chloe X Halle. And I'm sorry. And I'm so sorry for messing it up. But they are two sisters from Atlanta, and they're singers. They're an R&B duo, and they are freaking talented. Chloe is 18 years old and Halle is 16, and they just absolutely belted that national anthem like no other. So
ain't no Fergie national anthem, I'll tell you that.
So we are all winners.
Brutal.
We are all winners for getting to hear that. So let's on. Yeah, so next topic, let's get into some things that happened that we didn't really see coming, things you were surprised by. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, for sure. We kind of touched on this before. I didn't not see the Patriots doing as well as they did. And I also really didn't, to be honest with you, I didn't see the entire season coming. Like, if you ask anyone, I was kind of the biggest hater on it. More specifically, I feel like a lot of the teams kind of like, maybe besides like the Browns, like moving at an even like kind of pace right now. I feel like it's fair for me to say, like, you know how like, I don't know, I just like week one, I wasn't disappointed by a lot of people's performances. Like, I'm a Giants fan and I wasn't not disappointed.
Yeah, I was not furious. The way I usually am. No, I totally am with you on that because
obviously I saw the Jets losing. Yeah, saw that coming from my way.
Well, no, that's like because I definitely like I'm so with you on that because a lot of the things that I noted of like things I didn't see coming were some really kind of stealthy quarterback performances on teams that were not supposed to be doing well, coming from specifically Gardner Minshew, Mitch Trubisky.
I'm back.
Yeah. And I was just kind of like, not necessarily like, oh my God, this is like, it wasn't like a Lamar Jackson, where did this guy come from?
It was no Super Bowl performance.
But it was a very pleasantly surprising thing to see kind of a much more elite, I guess, level of play. Not that it's not all elite, they're professional football players. I just
feel like all of these players and all the sports we've been watching have been so hungry for competition. And
do you think that's it?
Like, I do, because I felt like everyone had an urgency in them. And I mean, I've always been a very big fan of watching rookies perform like in their first season. And I felt like all of them were impressive. Joe Burrow and the Bengals lost, but impressive.
Yeah, a few big comebacks this week one, which was like,
I just felt everyone had urgency. I thought everybody was looking to make an impact and to make a moment and like a name for themselves or reinvent themselves. And it was super cool. Like I said, things I never saw coming. The distaste I had for seeing Tom Brady in a Bucs uniform, I like did not like it.
It didn't bother me. This is weird because I am not. I honestly, and I mean this, and like, thank you, Tom, for the wonderful years of like childhood football you gave me. But like, I could not care less at this point. It is what it is. Like,
she says she done. Bye, Tom.
Well, and it's not even a done thing. It's like a don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. We had a great run, and you wanted to move on, and I completely respect that. And so I'm just like letting go. I'm like, okay.
I just don't think that like the colors like suit him. Like
No,
I like
get
the
that.
blue.
I feel
it
that.
brings out his eyes.
I think navy is a good color on Tom Brady.
Yeah,
And I think that it's weird.
the red was a little overbearing on his skin tone. I did not really go for it.
It's not my style.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of like not. The Brady thing is just it's just not. It's obviously a big storyline. Like Tom Brady, who has been the greatest quarterback of the last 2 decades, left his coach, and so people still say it. Belichick is playing chess, and everyone else is fucking flipping the checkers board over because they're mad that they lost. And I think that that's really shown with Belichick sans Brady, in that he still runs a really smart offense. They're doing well. Happy for them. But it's just not. I guess where I'm going with this very long-winded rambling point is that I do hope that like this NFL season is not it's not a comeback tour. I don't even know what you'd call it, but like the Brady breakup tour. Like I don't want every week for it to be like, oh, Brady's first time playing this team in X years because he's in a new division and stuff like that. It's just like, can we just get on with like quarterbacks get traded? Do franchise quarterbacks that have been with a team for 20 years get traded every day? No. So let's talk about it. Let's acknowledge it. Let's see how he does in week 1. Let's see how he does with the new team, the new coach. And then let's just watch it like it's normal football. Like it doesn't have to be mentioned in every broadcast of every game, even if it's not a Buccaneers or a Patriots game. So I hope that like we can do it for a few weeks, but then I think like let's also just treat it like it's regular football and see how he does. And then at the end of the season, let's reevaluate and be like, does the season look different for Brady if he stays with the Patriots? Who's to say? So that was like one of my overall things, because going off of that a little bit, and I think you have some thoughts of this as well, is like I said, I'm not overreacting with the Patriots win. I'm also not going to overreact about the Bucs loss. And I think that week 1 in the hype and the excitement, which there is a lot of, gives us all a tendency to like over hype things and get a little ahead of ourselves. But I think in the same way that I'm taking the Patriots win with a grain of salt, I'm also taking the Bucs loss with a grain of salt. It's one game. Brady has lost games before. This is not the first time he has lost a football game. It has happened. He has thrown interceptions before. Maybe not in the way he has in week 1, but let's not like write off the season or the signing or anything like that. Like let's give it a little bit of time. And then week 5, week 6, week 7, things are still going this way. Let's be like, oh, what's going on there? But it's week 1. Things happen. There's flukes. Flukes happen week 1. We also didn't have preseason. There was no preseason. So we're working out the kinks still.
Yeah.
That was my mini rant on like overreactions, and everybody does them. And I do them too. I'm like, oh, Patriots are going 16-0. Thank you very much. I will see you all later. I did for like a few minutes. But
in other news, we're going to move on to some more specifics. Lily.
Yes.
Big plays. Hit me with one.
Ooh, okay. Not a play, big moment though, that I wanted to bring up. I think it was Juju. It had to be. It's possible I'm wrong. One of his touchdown celebrations was like a TikTok dance. And I can't believe I didn't think of this before, but we are going to be in the age of touchdown celebrations being TikTok dances. So prepare yourselves. It's going to happen. Everyone's going to be doing the savage dance in the end zone. Just you wait. And I can't believe I didn't think of it until he did it.
No.
No, I like it. No. Don't hate. Don't hate on TikTok.
The athletes that I idolize cannot be as basic as these 15-year-olds on TikTok making dances. They are too creative. They got that touchdown on their goddamn own, and they're given talent to be professional athletes. And you're telling me we finally, as a society, got the old white men to accept touchdown dances, and this is what we're gonna goddamn do with it? No. I am not having any of that, because I'll tell you what, we have worked too hard to get here and to have this turn into that. Seriously?
You're so mad. I didn't think you'd be this mad.
I'm so mad because you are wasting the perfect 5 to 7 seconds that you have to do whatever the hell you want.
Just let them be happy.
I want them to be happy, and I know that they're happy because they got points on the board, but I would like them to be a little bit more creative. That's all.
All right. You can, that is your opinion.
If any NFL players are listening to this, which I'm sure there are none.
Jess is asking you to please not do TikTok dance in the end zone.
And if y'all are...
Well, it was awesome. It was awesome. Okay. Give me a big play because you've had enough of my TikTok.
Big play. It's like one of my favorite freaking things about football. Like I said before, watching people get bodied across a fucking football field.
Anarchist.
49ers new left tackle Trent Williams. He bodied the Cardinals' Jordan Hicks defender in their game on Sunday. To put things into perspective, if you haven't seen the viral video of this guy absolutely lunging himself at this guy, like, you have to watch it. Trent Williams is 6'5", weighing 320 pounds. And Jordan Hicks, on the other hand, weighs 236 pounds. Somehow, Hicks got up and continued on with the play.
Dude,
which is
these
shocking.
hits, man.
I would just be dead, simply dead.
How much can you bench?
I don't bench. Look at my arms.
Well, no, I mean, how much do you think you can bench? Because I don't either. How much do you think you can lift?
Like a case of beer.
I'm trying to think of like what the heaviest thing I've ever picked up is.
35 pounds.
Okay. I don't know. I've never really tried to max.
Okay, so people say that adrenaline does things to you, like a mother could lift a car.
Oh, yeah, that thing. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I can lift what I need to in case of an emergency.
Okay.
But on the regular, like, Jess ain't lifting shit.
So basically that's leading into my question of like, if a 300-pound tackle was like fell on top of you, you're not getting it.
I would literally die. Like, you think I'm overreacting? I would simply just lay there and either I would go into cardiac arrest or I think I'm actually dead, or like I would break at least 3 bones in my body.
Oh my gosh. Mine, same game, didn't get tackled though, was Kyler Murray's running touchdown in the 4th quarter on 2nd and 9. Watching that play, he's like a video game character. He steps out of the pocket. He steps back. I don't know if it was a fake or here's my thing. If it was a fake, awesome play. I know. If he meant to fake it, then it was an awesome play and it was really well thought out. If it wasn't a fake, then that guy is an elite quarterback who thinks on his feet like no other, and he made that running touchdown. The way he dodged around everybody, like he is so quick, he's so agile. He's a true athlete. Like he is a real athlete, and he's
a dual sport guy.
I know, and it was seriously like watching a video game. He's like,
it's incredible.
It was so crazy to watch. That was like my favorite play of the whole week.
I love sports, and I'm so not athletic, and that's just impressive.
Okay, before we get into our tweets of the week, I want to run through a few. I love weird stats. And sportingnews.com did the 10 interesting stats and facts from week 1 of the NFL. And I am going to read you a few of them. One of them was Saquon Barkley having fewer rushing yards than Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, and George Kittle, who all had 9 yards each. The next one, and this was like, I think a loser of this week. I don't want to say a loser. Kickers, man. I feel bad for the kickers. The spotlight's on you. It's a lot of pressure. There's conditions all over the place that could swing the ball either way. But anyways, Steven Gostkowski, former Patriots kicker, has gone from the 5th most accurate kicker in NFL history to the 8th in the one game. So that was not great. Not a great game for him. There's a Giants one. Okay. This one's for you, Jess, and I'm terribly sorry in advance.
I hate when you do this to me.
I know, I'm sorry. It's your fandoms. I don't do this to you on purpose. You did this to yourself.
I was born here.
So since 1999, there have been 62 drives of 19 plus plays, and the Giants are the first ever to have one end in an interception.
We're making history.
We're making history one game at a time.
And that's all I have to say on the matter.
Okay, and this is the last one that I will give you. This is my favorite one, I think, of the week. Baker Mayfield has become the first NFL quarterback to make his first 30 career starts for the same team. So he has had 30 career starts, all on the Browns, but he has had 4 different head coaches.
That bitch crazy.
Baker Mayfield. So like you said, you're like, he's unbothered. Baker Mayfield is chilling.
Like, how does he sleep at night?
No, so
he
overall,
sleeps on a progressive pillow with all that nice money.
Okay, I love the Baker Mayfield progressive commercials where he like lives in the stadium. The newest one where it's like, he's like, oh, the weather. He's like, I think it's about to rain. He's like, we got to cover the furniture. And there's like a groundskeeper, and the groundskeeper is like looking at him like he's crazy. He's like, does he meet in the stands? And then Baker Mayfield starts covering every single one of the seats. It's so funny. So overall, I think what week 1 told us is that it's going to be a good season.
It's going to be a long, good ass season.
I don't know what the end is going to look like, or when, or however, but like, again, we had some pretty good performances. Again, like real sense of urgency, a real like high level of competitiveness that I don't know that we always get in week 1. And from certain teams. So that gave me really high hopes for the season and like some matchups coming up. So I'm really excited. And I think there's going to be some really fun storylines to follow too. The Brady thing will be interesting. The Cam thing will be interesting. It'll be great to see, obviously, like what Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray do. Oh, wait, I had one more fun fact. And this is, we'll end. Do you have any last words for football talk for what's the show? Pro football talk. We are semi-amateur football talk.
We're semi-amateur. No, I'm good. I'm excited for week 2.
Okay, good. Finishing football talk before we get into tweets of the week. There were 10 black quarterbacks starting in week 1, and that is the most in a season opener in NFL history. Tweet of the week, Jess. Give it to me.
Okay. So my tweet of the week was straight up hilarious, and I'm going to do a little acting for you guys. I took an acting 101 class, so I'm going to get in touch with my inner actress. I sent this tweet to Lily.
I know.
It's a tweet from that Stephen A. Smith tweeted. And everything about it, I looked at it, was hilarious. The punctuation was incredible. The tagging was awesome. So I'm going to read it to you guys 2 ways. In my voice, and then in what I would imagine Stephen A. Smith would have been saying this. OMG, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. The @Nuggets have gone from a 17-point deficit to an 11-point lead. They have forced, caps, a Game 7, caps. I am absolutely positively stunned, all caps, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. This is unreal. The @LA Clippers are in a world of trouble, 3 exclamation points.
Wow. That was something else. A German.
OMG, the Nuggets have gone from a 17-point deficit to an 11-point lead. They have forced a Game 7. I am absolutely
the fist.
Stunned. This is unreal. The LA Clippers are in a world of trouble. Obviously, I don't sound like a man, but like the way he, like, I love listening to him talk because the way he emphasizes things, like every other word, is so
You
important.
got the fist really good. That was a nice touch.
The yelling, like the
I am absolutely stunned.
Stunned.
Stunned's a really good word for that.
God.
So my tweet of the week is from Charlotte Wilder. She did a video for Fox Sports on her recap of week 1 of the NFL. And she replied to the recap and said, it's like my Bachelor recaps, except it's about NFL players who actually saw playing time. And I thought that was fantastic as someone that both watches the NFL and The Bachelor, because if you don't know, The Bachelor tends to have a demographic of a lot of NFL players that didn't really see playing time or got cut pretty early in their careers. So loved it. Just love it overall. Anything
I don't
else
watch The Bachelor. Yes, we do have to do a couple things really quick. Our moment of the week from last week, we have Voten, and Lily seems to be beating me on the last couple times we've done this, because College Game Day beat my quiet middle finger block moment by just 2 votes. Whatever. I see where my friends are at.
You hate to see it.
So, College Game Day spiel, put it into the moment of the week because it was a great moment anyway. I am glad that I had lost to such a wonderful opponent.
If you're going to lose, that's a good thing to lose too, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. I have a new moment of the week.
Yes, give it to me.
That we can vote on. There is a viral video of Juju Smith-Schuster, who was seen giving a homeless person food. And it was cute. It was nice. It was a good thing to do. As somebody who grew up in Manhattan, I have seen a ton of poverty and homelessness around my beautiful city. And every time a lot of people do get confused and want to give people money, my philosophy, as I tell all my friends before they go into Manhattan, if you see a homeless person, you feel morally compelled to assist them in some way, you should get them a hot meal or a coffee or something rather than giving them money, because at the end of the day, the meal will do them better than money because of the assumption that that money in their hands will not go to a smart decision-making process. Rather, you giving them food will help them survive for the day. So I thought that was beautiful, a really nice thing to do. Just in passing, it really doesn't take up that much time out of your day anyway.
That is really nice. That was a very good call to action for people too.
Thank you.
I had trouble.
Beat that one, Lily.
I know. No, I'll take the L. I will take the L. Because mine's probably not going to be that good. Anyways, I had a hard time picking one just because there was a lot going on this week. So my moment of the week, a little more straightforward, is Asia Wilson, WNBA Player of the Year, voted by the Associated Press. I watched a highlight reel of all of her blocks. They are graceful as all heck. Just watching all the blocks, someone made a compilation of all of her blocks, and they were just so beautiful. She's floating. She doesn't even touch anybody, but it's a block. So she was voted the Associated Press WNBA Player of the Year, and I am so happy for her because I think she is just spectacular all around. So that was my moment of the week. Vote on Twitter and Instagram whose moment you had was better. It was Jess's. But also shout out to Asia Wilson because that is also awesome.
Yes, vote, because we don't make this decision. We take all the votes based on what you guys say and
let
what you
your
guys
voice
think.
be heard.
So remember, guys.
Also, on that note, register to vote. That's really important. And I'm going to use this platform to say that. Vote in our poll. Also, register to vote come November.
It's important. People died for your right to vote.
And I am even going to link the website where you can check if you're registered to vote and when you have to register by in your states. So everybody can go do that because voting there is not a word in the English language that can stress enough how important voting is. So we'll just leave it at that. This has been another super fun episode of Throwin Down with Jess and Lily. Jam-packed. I'm Lily Caffrey-Levine again.
I'm Jess King. And remember, guys, it's never just sports.
It's never just sports. We will see you next time. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.